So we're live. Just going to wait for the screen to come up. Background for me. I hope you're having a good morning. I'd like to start the readings with a short practice. Just a little bit of Reiki. We're bringing in new things for this solstice. And I wonder what you are calling in. Maybe we need to get clear on that, particularly in the next 7 days. Maybe you can create a short-term idea, intention, dream, wish. And of course, we oftentimes, I think of physical things to manifest physical things like a car or a home. But it can also be something non-tangible. Peace, understanding. And so I'll be using some crystals for this in honor of Cancer as we move into Cancer season, a moonstone wand, and what else should I use? Ammonite. So I'll leave that up here. Amber. So if you notice, there might be a trend here, fossils. Reclaiming things that have been buried. A clear quartz. And this is a citrine spirit quartz. So for joy and abundance. I'll use no music today, just breath and attention. If you feel to, closing your eyes or just watching me. Creating a box, a safe container, a safe space, a brave space for the right messages to come through. For every person to receive what it is that they need in this next season, this next astrological season of Cancer, but more importantly, a reconnection to home, to self, to the body, to what nourishes and nurtures us, to be unafraid, to speak what we want, what we need. I invite you now to maybe place on the altar of your mind something that you would like support, strength, understanding, peace with. Calling in my own angels and ancestors of light, spirit guides and higher selves of light. I feel your presence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. calling in everyone else's angels and ancestors of light and benevolence, spirit guides and higher selves of light and benevolence. Thank you for being a support to me, to send any messages, any words, phrases that need to be heard. In gratitude. And so let's begin. We are going to start with the sign of Gemini, since it's Gemini season. I love, when I see certain readers on YouTube, namely I could think of like Minnow Pond and Cancer Moon Tarot. And I love, actually Minnow Pond, generally when he does is it's in sequence, starting with Aries, but Cancer Moon, Anthony, he will kind of, what does he say? The first sign I see is the first sign I read, which, we appreciate, right? It's not always starting with Aries. So, sorry, Aries. Anyway, so for Gemini, it looks like we could use some grounding. Hematite is coming up, so perhaps, interesting, emerald as well. To me, the green would also suggest grounding and having compassion for yourself and anyone else that's around you that may be that you need to feed your grounding, to be grounding because of this situation maybe that you need compassion with. A few other cards popped out. So empowerment, rites of passage, upright, sunstone, scolecite, peace. So peace is coming. It does feel like that. So the crystals you have are hematite, emerald, sunstone, cuprite, and scolecite. And I'm going to pull a few tarot from the intuitive tarot. Rachel True. This card came out, so I'm going to take that. So this is for Gemini. Sorry. That's a lot, so I'm not going to take those. I'm going to put those back. What I will say is, as I'm pulling these cards, so you have grounding, compassion, empowerment, rites of passage, and peace. And then the clarifier that we have for tarot is the Three of Cups, which I would suggest that this is about friends, friendships, people that are around, maybe gossip, maybe getting together with people. And the Five of Discs also coming up, but it's reversed. So coming out of a lack space, a space it's more mental space of lack, even though it's the Five of Coins. Two of Cups. It feels like there's a fallout here, and I wonder if it's actually about more like insecurity. I don't know on whose part. Is it insecurity? Maybe. Or I think, because it would have been insecurity, I think, if it were upright, but because it's reversed, it's almost like coming out of a space of insecurity. This conversation of like who has what, and who's there, emotionally who's there, but like practically who's there. The only upright card in the tarot that I've pulled so far is the Three of Cups. And then we have the Eight of Discs. It feels like there's something to work on here. It feels like there's something to work on. It's almost like this is actually the study card that I get. Thanks for allowing me to take a sip. It's actually the study card. So creating something, working through something, processing something, learning, applying. It does feel like it's very fruitful, you know? And it's something that's going to take time. But it does feel like there was love here. And I feel like there can be work done that can bring you back to this celebratory feeling. So that's it for you, Gemini. So I would say if there are conversations, relationships, things that need to be said or cleared up, I do feel like, yes, it's maybe feeling like a challenge, but you do have the support available. So on to Cancer. I might use a different deck. The Cancer, but instead of the crystal cards. Let's do some sacred self-care. I may pull a crystal card at the end, or after this. So this is for Cancer. For Cancer. Burning goal ritual. Connect with your womb. Light's so bright, it's getting nice and bright here. And then connect with crystals and chanting. So I feel like you could actually be combining these, particularly the connecting with your womb, connecting with crystals and chanting. There could be a physical release that you could be doing, actually, it feels like around your around your womb space or around your ability to create. So since it says to connect with crystals, we're going to go back to the crystal deck because we heard that message for Cancer. Spiritual awakening, selenite. Ancient wisdom, which is a master teacher card, which could have you connecting with your ancestors in some way or past life information. And then ruby, shine. So when I get these three cards, it does make me feel like you're coming into the space of deeply understanding what it is that you've been through up until now, and also how maybe you have there's probably a need to heal in the womb space, as I mentioned, but I feel like the womb space healing is connected to your ability to shine fully, truly, authentically. Truly, truly. So we have the Princess of Swords, reversed, the Wheel of Fortune. Communication does feel like it's a conversation right now. Being able to communicate in a healthy way, in a way that is that doesn't use yours or anyone else's thoughts or emotions against them. Kind of taking control of your thoughts, what it is that you need to learn. What's very interesting is you have a very new beginning here. We have the Wheel of Fortune representing 10, the Magician representing 1, so 2 major arcana. And the fact that they're 1 and 10, very significant. You are creating something. You know, it's interesting as I talk about like your ability to create. There is something, wow, huge, huge. So we have the 5 of discs, and we also have the 10 of discs. So again, this idea of being either halfway there or being able to create like this new home and family that you really have fought for. You know, it's something that you can shine in. You've created. You've manifested. Yeah, I think the only thing that is a question here is your mind. Your mind, like, you know, a lot of people say, you know, getting your mind right. Like, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? Because it feels like that's really where you're stopping yourself from shining. There's a fear here, a fear of shining, what it means to shine, drawing attention to yourself, even if it's something like inside you want, having to reconcile the discomfort. I don't know if it's anger even, but perhaps like an anger of why you haven't been able to do it up until now. Why you've refused to do, I got the 8 of discs as well. Why maybe you refuse to do the work in this way. I don't know if it's refused, but there is some kind of resistance around just being yourself fully, unapologetically. And I feel like actually chanting and connecting with your womb space, even, you know, whatever your gender is, your creation space, your belly, you know. I think that's going to help you to connect into your power. That's the, you know, the seed of the soul, right? Your belly is like your creation, your ability to hold and build ultimately. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there for you, Cancer. Feels like a little bit of work for you to do. I mean, we all have work to do. I shouldn't say that. Well, I should say that because it's true. We all have work to do. That's your work. So Leo, let's, I think Mars is in Leo right now. Mars in Leo is Mars in my opposite sign, because I'm an Aquarius. So here we go, Leo. Ooh, Leo, we have the Death card reversed. First card out. I don't know if 13 is significant to you. It may be, it may not be. Take that. It came out anyway, so I guess I'm gonna take it. So we have the King of Discs, the 2 of Wands, and the Chariot. So the King of Discs is Earth. The Two of Wands is reversed, as is the Death, as I mentioned, and the Chariot. So I'll just pull one more. Ooh, that was easy. The Hierophant. Something could have happened in May that was like following tradition. It's more than following tradition, but it's, connecting to a source. Maybe that's your own source, somebody else's source, but a source of knowledge, a source of information, and doing things in a way that is tried and true, or even questioning doing things in a way that's tried and true. But I do think May was significant in this conversation. With the Death card, it's, we have a transformation and an impending transformation that's coming here. Things are to be revealed within you, where you're going next. I mean, with the Two of Wands reversed, it's like there is an opportunity to travel, a desire to travel, but maybe either you don't know where you're going yet, or the opportunity just hasn't arose as yet. Like maybe that's something actually you're manifesting, you're creating. With the King of Discs, it doesn't look like you have someone here that could be financially supportive. Spiritually supportive. No, it's more practically supportive. Someone that moves maybe slowly, but is very sure. Connected to not necessarily the earth, connected to like the reality, the logistics, the material plane, what he can see, what they can see. Doesn't have to be a he. And that's really like where it's at. That's where they shine. And so it's interesting because when I look at this trio here, the Death card reversed and the Two of Wands reversed, and in between we have the King. I wonder if this person is feeling a little bit resistant to transformation, to change, to moving, to moving freely, to moving on, to moving forward. And then it's interesting, as I talk about moving forward, we have the Chariot. So it does feel like July is going to be significant for you. And for this decision to move forward or to travel, it's interesting we have the pyramids here. If Egypt's a question for you, but spiritual spaces, having a spiritual new beginning. Yeah. So I'm just going to pull some crystal cards for you, Leo. Balance, Boji stones. Wants to come out. Empowerment, the sunstone. I was feeling this. I'm feeling like, and it's interesting that Mars is in Leo right now, and we're getting the empowerment card. I'm feeling like you are the one that really has the power. I don't know if it's a spiritual power maybe in the relationship. Not saying that, everybody has spiritual power, but got the Cupright card again. I got the Cupright card. Rites of passage. I feel like, yeah, you're coming, and of course, this rites of passage would go right along with the death card, right? So having some kind of experience where there's a full circle moment, transformation, a new beginning here, but it's deeper than it's a whole life change, it feels like. And then we have the pink tourmaline and the forgiveness card. So it feels like it's relationship related. Where are we going to go from here? Where do we want to go from here? Are we not even to say aligned, but if you're Leo, if it feels like if you're the one that is moving things along, I think you might be more inclined to do things in a way that is more independent, like more solitary. I don't even know if it's solitary, but like even if you're not in a relationship, right? But it's like I'm not going to let people slow me down or keep me back from the things that I want to do because they are afraid or they can't see their way forward. Let's see. And this is the chakra wisdom. Is that right? No. Chakra wisdom oracle. There we go. Because I do also have the chakra wisdom tarot. Just so you know. I haven't used this one in a while. Vanity. Interesting. This could be you or this could be someone else. It does feel like it actually has to do with conversation, communication. Sometimes I think of vanity as selfishness. Rejection. Yeah. I think someone's concerned about their place in a relationship and a fear of rejection, but it could also be a level of self-rejection. Anytime I get that rejection card, it's like, it's really of like the past rejections and how we fall into or create situations where we experience rejection, but it's also a level of self-acceptance that's needed, right? And it feels like Spirit's bringing in this expanded awareness for you, Leo, a meta view of what's really happening and where it is that you want to go. Excuse me. Thank you, Leo. It's even as I'm like, there's something that needs to be said, or someone is holding something in their heart. So let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, the sexuality card is coming up for you. We'll see how things move forward. So for Virgo. We have the Ace of Discs, so new financial beginning, growth. Seven of Cups, getting clear, distilling your wishes, what it is that you want to be doing next, where you want to grow next. Oops. Another 7. Things like July is going to be significant. 7 of Pentacles, reaping what you need, reaping and sowing, but all like tending to your garden, looking at what's grown so far, maybe a level of satisfaction. This coffee's done. Yeah, looking at what you've grown, what you've cultivated. That's such a Virgo thing. Harvest time. It actually feels very nice. Spirit, like as I tap into it spiritually, it feels very nice. Yeah, like you're just waiting, Queen of Discs, but it's reversed. No matter. You're just waiting on your money. That's how it feels. I get excited. That's how it feels. That's hilarious. But I can totally, yeah. And like, it's so interesting that we have these, I think it comes in within a month. And we have these 7 of Cups. Oops, 7 of Cups reversed. You're getting clear. You're also, I think, it's more than getting clear, it's it feels like empowerment, really, through this distillation of your mind and processing. And so in the background, it feels like there is this release, mental release around, could be a person, doesn't have to be this King of Swords energy, someone that caused you hurt or pain, sorrow, melancholy, grief, most likely due to untruths. We have Gemini here, a magician, so it could have been something where they were not showing a side or a self. Interesting, because I have Temperance, the Lovers, also Gemini, 6 of Discs, and Cups, Queen of Cups. I won't take those, but Temperance coming up behind that represents healing and a choice. Divine partnership, healing, divine partnerships. Could be romantic, but doesn't have to be. It does feel like you have the opportunity to heal whatever that relationship is. But in the foreground, your financial situation is looking good. Yeah. Let me just pull a self-care card for you, Virgo. Virgo. Abundance planning. This is just confirmation of the money that's coming. This is just confirmation of the money that's coming. That's hilarious. I'm too funny. Anyway, yeah, abundance planning and be still is at the bottom of the card. So it's like, just, be patient, wait to receive, it's coming. Maybe do some meditation. But yeah, abundance planning means that when the money comes in, you're going to, it's like one, getting excited for what you're about to receive, but also actually having gratitude and planning in advance, and like making notes of the money that, like, not just the money that's coming, but what you're going to do with it, what you're going to pay, the next level of things that you're going to pay, maybe making settlements, negotiations, yeah, what you want to do, travel, self-development, education, living expenses. And then also too, creating new boundaries with the money, that, like, not just with the money, but with yourself, you know? Yeah. So, hey, congratulations, Virgo. That feels very good, very good, very good. Okay. Next, Virgo. After Virgo comes Libra. Libra. We'll go back to the tarot and pull some cards for you, Libra, and see what's coming up. Libra. 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 Just looking at my dream catcher up here. I will put the name of the dream catchers, the artist of the dream catcher, the indigenous artist, in the description, if I remember. If I don't remember, it is Sticks and Bones Studios. Studio or studios, because there's different both. Her name is Mary. Lovely, lovely work. Okay, so for Libra, coming up. Three of Wands, Temperance, both reversed. Ace of Cups, Sun, reversed, and Prince of Wands, reversed. Interesting. Libra. I know we also have the Prince of Discs and the Princess of Discs reversed. It's interesting because I feel like it's interesting because the only card upright here is the Ace of Cups, which could represent a new emotional beginning, a new romantic beginning, new beginning in relationships, where your cup can and will overflow. But it's like there are these other factors that are not in the way, but are almost like contending with this Ace of Cups. So we have the Three of Wands reversed. Really thinking about like moving forward, having your ships come in, maybe having your ships come in and feeling a little bit dissatisfied, but working with it, working with what you've got. And because we have the Temperance here, there is definitely a need to heal, a need to maybe withdraw, it could be involving Sagittarius as well, because Temperance represents Sagittarius. It's like alchemizing, knowing that you have the ability to make magic, to alchemize, to transform, but maybe feeling too tired to do that. Maybe feeling like your beliefs need like to be reinvigorated. Maybe there's a sense of sadness or disappointment around a son, or a lack of inspiration. Feeling maybe a lack of inspiration. But I do think that it is on offer, particularly by the time that August comes and things kind of start to turn around. Yeah, I think August is going to be a significant month. I think right now, financially, you're trying to get your footing, your financial footing, if that makes sense. Not just financial, it's very practical. Your resources in order. Maybe this could have to do with your home, your house, property, your possessions in some way. Getting clear on, your possessions and what it is that you need to keep, need to get rid of. It's like there's this reassessment of almost like reestablishing yourself or reestablishing your resources. Let's go to pull a crystal card. Libra, oops, we have past life. So lapis lazuli, I wonder if there is like this past, it could be a past life relationship, past life, and we have learning, fluorite. You're learning something that has to do with either a past life from this life or a past life from, of course, not this life, past life. And it's like almost like a past life lesson. There's a cycle here that it could be ending. You come to the end of this like karmic or spiritual cycle. And it's almost asking you like what you've learned. Are you owning your healer status? And to own your healer status is an acknowledgement of the fact of like everything that you've been through, to be a healer is to have healed yourself. So just pulling from the Oracle deck, what's it? The Chakra Wisdom. We have discovery, forgiveness, and quest. So this is very much related to the healer energy. Very much related to the healer energy. Ooh, Libra. Yeah. There's been a lot of emotional relationship healing related to this life, but also related to your past life and how you're probably being conscious of passing on your emotionality to the folks around you, your children, if you have children. Just being more conscious and responsible for your own happiness and wanting to take that not just to heart, but having a stronger responsibility around it, for it. Yeah. and not really caring about other people's opinions, what they think, or at least not prioritizing, not saying not caring, but not prioritizing it over your own. Yeah, because that's the Libra trait. Thanks, Libra. So we're gonna go into Scorpio. I want another coffee, so I'm going to pause for a second and put on my kettle. Just 1 second. Oh, okay. Ooh, Scorpio, are you having headaches? Are you feeling dizzy? Ooh. Yeah. Feels like my head's expanding. Scorpio, it feels like you're under a lot of stress. Spiritual stress or like expansion. Maybe doing some deep breathing. For Scorpio, what's coming up for Scorpio? Please, Spirit. Thank you for your love and support. Clear this. Queen of Discs. The controller. When I think of the Queen of Discs, I think of like the controller, the financial controller. You know, the one that holds the purse strings. Prosperity, abundance, transformation too. But she's really focused on her money, the practicality of things, but also like her fertility, her ability to grow things, you know. Oops. Oh, beautiful. Just popped out the High Priestess. Scorpio. You have someone around you, if this is not you, that is has the key, has the knowledge, has the spiritual knowledge. They know a lot more than they say. They know a lot more than they say. They're really watchful. Are they watching you or are you watching them? Ooh, and we have justice. It's interesting, you know, on the High Priestess, we have the moon, the crescent moon, but also the full moon at the top. I'll show you in a second. And then we have the sun. And then on justice, they're opposite, but we have the sun and the moon. The moon and the sun. And then the sun and the moon. Right? And so 2 major arcana, but the High Priestess and Justice. 2 and 11, which is actually, when you think of 11, it's also 2. It feels like a portal, Scorpio. 1, a portal related to spirituality, higher knowledge, higher learning, but also to relationships, to relationship, to truth, to speaking one's truth, to being truthful, to calling it as you see it. We have the Tower card reversed, which is interesting. And then we have the Lovers, and it's upright. So when I pull all of these cards together, quite like it feels very transformational. The only card here that's reversed is the Tower. So it makes me feel like, I don't know if this is you trying to prevent something from falling apart or from disintegrating, from changing in some way, evolving. But it does feel like the outcome ends up being a choice, someone having to make a choice, most likely related to relationship, but to where alliances lie, allegiances, alliances, all the same thing. You know, where your focus is. Feels like there's an underlying sense of lack or disappointment or apathy. Like, I'm not sure I want to, I'm not sure I feel, it's interesting because now, as I talk about relationship, we have the King of Discs, but it's reversed. And this is the last card. And then the first card was the Queen of Discs upright. So it feels like there's a relationship here where the female or feminine entity, doesn't have to be woman, but feminine entity is in the stronger position. And the King of Discs feels out of sorts or not as powerful, not as strong. Actually feels like they're maybe a little bit disconnected, or like disenfranchised with this circumstance. It's almost like they're looking at their value and knowing that there's value for them. They have value, but it's almost like a question of who has value, who has say, who has weight, clout, you know? And so it presents as like the masculine energy in this relationship is the one that's not as strong or doesn't feel as strong or doesn't feel as grounded in who they are. Actually, it feels like they're keeping to themselves a little bit, or I don't know if they're keeping things to themselves or just keeping, like withdrawing. Oh, yeah, it feels like they're in a meditative space, not saying much, seeking clarity. Ooh. I feel like Spirit wanted me to do that. So Scorpio, I feel like you could be doing some meditating and grounding in order to seek some clarity. And then we have gratitude, hidden night. So I do feel like gratitude will be helpful. I mean, sometimes it's challenging to feel gratitude when you're feeling apathetic or disconnected. But maybe it's actually a good practice for you to connect to your source. We have upright. A lot of people are going through rites of passage right now. So Scorpio, it feels like, I will say, long, like, overall, you're going through this relationship transformation where you're really, I think you're really challenged to get your grounding back, yourself back, your strength back, your inspiration back within the relationship, but also within yourself. Move on to Sagittarius. I'm gonna make my coffee. Let's see. Sagittarius, I'm gonna make my coffee. Just enjoy yourself for a moment. Thanks for your patience. Give me a moment. Or two or three. I appreciate it. I do actually need to spoon those, so just 1 second. I have returned. Thank you. Much appreciated. Sag. Are you a coffee drinker, Sag? Oh. All right now. So Sag, before I left, I pulled came out the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands. What? Sag, you have a new beginning. And you have the World that's impending. It's reversed. So it looks like maybe in 2 months or 3 months. Feels like September, actually. Yeah, it feels like the next month is about truth telling, clearing what it is that you need, like what it is that you need going forward, who you are, what it is that you need. I think that's the best way to say it. And then the month after, so I think this is, so between now and July 20th, let's say, you're going to be having a lot of conversations and doing, I think, a lot of research around like moving forward, what it is that you can do, where you want to go. Could even be a matter of travel. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So the next month after that, which would be July, the end of July 20th approximately to August 20th approximately. And, you're getting inspiration, ideas, manifestation abilities, qualities, things coming up about where and how you can travel, where you can move to. It does feel like it's like, I don't know if you're planning on moving, thinking about moving, because then we have the World. Oh, and we actually also have your card too. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, you have the world. I'm going to say this is September, where you get to travel, you get to move forward. And then in the meantime, you have the Nine of Swords. So really, um, really looking at your mental health, capacity, wellness, strength, what it is that you need to heal. This is you. This is your card, Sagittarius. And then Seven of Swords. So really getting clear on who has your back, who you can trust. And coming back to yourself, clearing out any, like, literally when you look at the Nine of Swords card and this card here, clearing out the ways of being in your mind, the patterns, the habits that don't serve you anymore. There could actually be things that are keeping you up at night, insomnia, processing, psychological processing. Um, in regards to like a few things, past lives, people who, like, again, who you can trust, who you can't trust, how you know that, um, and really kind of getting clear on where you want to be, what's healthy for you. Let's pull some crystal cards. Yes, Sagittarius. Oh, wild. Animals are coming through. So whether you have an animal past, present, they could be helping to heal you. You have the Ancient Wisdom card, Master Teacher card. Many. For Sagittarius. Relaxation. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're supposed to be traveling somewhere that you can relax for a while, where you can heal and take time for yourself in your own space, whatever that means for you, like space of the world, or actually like moving into a new home. It does feel like it's prefaced by conversations of, who you are, what you need, what you see, what you believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's it for you, Sag. Thank you. And so for Capricorn, pulled out flew out the Prince of Wands, so we'll keep it. It feels like a younger energy that's around you. It doesn't have to be male, but masculine. We have the Three of Wands as well. Are you having to help someone build in their future almost? Conversations around who are you supporting? Like maybe you're having to house someone. I don't know if this makes sense, but like maybe you're having to bring someone into your home, or maybe it's like a a child is returning home if they've been away in some capacity. There is like a level of building, construction, reflection, thinking about what's required resource-wise. There could be 3 people involved specifically related to this situation. But it does feel like there possibly, there's this return of a child, maybe because they've gone through a situation that has left them out of sorts. Yeah, we have the 5 of Wands here as well. So conversations, opinions, different perspectives, different needs. People not necessarily trying to prioritize their own situations, but people having different lenses ultimately. Yeah, feels like it's a conversation around the home and family, moving, actually moving, needing to move, for family, with family. Could be a matter of like amalgamating your resources. Upheaval in the home, someone wanting to move out or move on, or not being able to do that. And or again, like I said before, having to return. We have the Emperor. Could be connected to a father or a father figure, father situation, or just an authority, or even finances, banking. Like the father in this situation perhaps has not shown up, been present, or even if they were present, weren't able to provide resources. And that could have led to a lack of emotional support, financial support, an ability to move forward on one's own. Also just feeling like a lack of support. And wanting to return to something, but I don't think that thing exists anymore. And maybe like a sadness around or disappointment around memories or childhood experience, whether it's your childhood experience or someone else's childhood experience. It could be related to this youthful energy. It doesn't have to be boy, but yeah. And then we have the 9 of Discs. Really trying to get back to this space or into this space of personal pleasure and satisfaction, abundance, prosperity. And the 10 of Discs. Yeah, it's nice because it ultimately you come out in a strong position. And it does have to do with family or being able to cultivate your ideal family situation. Crystal cards that I get are aquamarine, communication, rose quartz, inner child, which is interesting because it does feel like I was saying, there's this either your inner child or you're a child, and it feels like it's related to either a father figure or their own inner authority having to return home and or needing support in some way. And ultimately this has to do with like building family, building home. So we're also going to bring in creativity, fire, agate, and then the fairy stone, which has to do with fertility. So it's interesting. I mean, if I could put together a story, I would wonder if there is a doesn't have to be a son, but son that returns home and maybe in a bit of upheaval. They could have like gotten someone pregnant. And then there's a conversation of money and finances. There's a disappointment that happens. This also could be related, of course, to like that father figure experience. But then being able to somehow turn the experience around and really revel in the abundance of family, the abundance of creation. You know, we got the fertility card, we got the inner child card and creativity card. It does feel like there is a question of, not question, but an ability for someone to get someone pregnant, to be pregnant, or create something, pregnancy aside, to create something that manifests in a home situation. So being able to move into a new home, any kind of creation energy is also related to fertility and pregnancy as well. So thank you, Capricorn. Aquarius, we got the Ace of Wands. New inspiration, new beginnings. Sometimes, or on the in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this would be like big D energy. So could be sexual, a new relationship coming in. Or Aquarius, please. Aquarius, cheers to my next coffee. Aquarius. Are you in mental conflict? Oops. Oh, these cards keep coming out, so they're going to come out. Are you in mental conflict? Are you trying to rise above the situation? Something feels like it's over, or it's not going to be the same. Yeah. Particularly related to mental processes, something that felt communication related. It's interesting because like interesting because, you know, it started out with the Ace of Wands, which feels very nice, right? The Five of Swords, which is like, oh, I see something. I see it. I don't know if I want to get involved. Is it in my head? I think it's in my head. Is it in my head? It's not in my head. I see it externalized. And then the Nine of Discs, which is beautiful. And this, like, life is actually very good. Life feels very good right now, right? But also there's this like lens of seeing things that are contradictory to the experience that you're living right now. Goes back too many. I did get the Magician though. Nine of Wands. It's like almost the 9 months. 9 months could be significant. Doing something for the last 9 months that has strained you. It's been about cycles and patterns and phases, seasons. Queen of Swords in reverse. You have a lot of sword energy. And I mean, I know, you know, you're air, but we also have a lot of wands energy too. So 3, 4 swords, 3 wands, 1 disc. There's a lot of mental energy here that is related to conflict, mental conflict, communication conflict, but also being able to like speak your truth or feeling like you can't speak your truth or keeping silent, maybe intentionally wanting to rise above something, but also knowing that like maybe you're keeping silent for a reason. Maybe it actually feels like your level of keeping silent is related to everything that you've been through in the last 9 months. It feels like it has just drained you. Look, you know, trying to stay upright, but also internally feeling like I can't. And so, you know, this is the presentation of the card. So, you know, just trying to stand up and standing strong, but really inside kind of like wilting. And so this almost like turns you down in the sense of like, I'm just only communicating when I have to, when I absolutely have to. A nice part about this, in between all of this air, is that we have the 8 of Wands. It's like you're doing a lot of projection, like mental manifestation, trying to create in the ways that you know how, so that can move you forward. A lot of mental anguish, mental processing, psychological processing, seeing how you may need to sort out things in your mind. You know, as I said before, get your mind right. But in a way that's really could be related. It could be related to mental health, but I think is also just like the pain and anguish of everything that you've been through. You know, when we think about the 10 of Swords in this situation, kind of like coming to an end, it's dead. You're like, you know, you feel either you feel dead or the situation feels dead. And then, you know, having to process everything that this transformation has brought you, good and bad. You know, trying to sort out the situation in your mind. We have 3 9s here and a 10, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10. It's almost like you're in this final stage of like checking things off, getting back to yourself, getting your energy back, getting your mind back. I was hearing something like a bug. It's interesting. All these bugs here. And really trying to discern who you can trust. Especially after the situation. So that's it for you. Let me pull a couple of crystal cards. For you, so we have the spiritual awakening card. Selenite, ooh. Abundance, nice. Feels like you're spiritually leveling up. Let me get these two together. It's actually your level of abundance is going to increase because you're awakening in a deeper way. And we have the emotional healing card. Yeah. Oops. This has to do with, like, even just look at the colors. The awakening crystal, selenite, and citrine. Emotional healing, spiritual awakening, and abundance. So you are, it feels like the work that you're doing mentally, you're, rising to your truth, rising into your truth, letting dead situations fall away, the mental anguish, processing what it is that you need. Okay. Even when you look at all of this, like mental energy, you can feel the conflict, mental conflict, the mental anguish, the sorrow, the grief, the needing to remove oneself. And so I feel like all of this processing is going to bring you back to a space or into a space of spiritual awakening. And it feels like it's clearing the slate, like clearing the way, clearing your mind, your altar in a way that can bring in abundance in a new way. So it feels like you've been through a lot, Aquarius. Like, whoa, buddy. So sending you some love, positivity, support. Okay, Pisces. We're almost to the end. Pisces. Get some information for Pisces. What's up for Pisces? For the solstice. What's up for Pisces for the solstice? For Pisces. Oops. Switch over. Five of discs. Three of swords. Strength. Star. Eight of Discs. King of Cups. Four of Wands. 10 of Wands. The Devil reversed and Queen of Discs. Let me pull some crystal cards. So, let me put this back. So the first line is interesting. Pisces. Feels like you are, it's interesting that we have in the middle of the pull, the Strength card. And then beside it, we have the Star. So, whoops. Feels like you, so patience. Feels like you're going through or processing a hurt or a feeling of, even if you don't feel like this anymore, it's like a processing, a recent processing of your value and your hurt, you know, not wanting to be hurt, of course, but pain, the ways in which you have or have not been seen. You seeing yourself, the ways in which people have hurt you and the impact of that on how you love and think and value yourself. How you communicate. How maybe in the past you've communicated from a space of like lack, not intentionally, but and now you're coming into the space of strength, of actually realizing how strong you've been. Whew. How you've persevered feels very heavy. But also like how you are healing yourself, how you're allowing yourself to shine even in the darkest moments, encouraging yourself to shine even in the darkest moments, Pisces. Yeah, it feels like your ancestors are here. Oops. Helping you to your ancestors are here, helping you to, find compassion for yourself. To hold space for yourself, Pisces. I see the Eight of Discs reversed, and it makes me think, like, what are you no longer working on? What are you no longer contributing to? You're no longer putting effort into something that probably feels like there's no return, or you're just done with it, you're just done. It could be related to school or schooling, education, learning. Oops. The cards that dropped. Oh. Do you have the courage to accept your success? Which actually feels like the courage is this courage is asking you to move on. That's what it feels like. To access the resources of your ancestors, the compassion of your ancestors, your own compassion for yourself. Feels like there could be someone around you that could be a father figure. It doesn't have to be. Feels like it is related to home though, and a burden. releasing codependency, and perhaps supporting a female, feminine entity who's financially either out of sorts, they don't have the resources that they need support with the resources, who generally has been a financial provider perhaps, but there's this release that happens. I don't read death, quite frankly, but I will say it's possible that there is a need to support your father figure, or fathers in your life, male entities in your life, masculine entities in your life, lightening their burden in some way, or it could actually be them lightening the burden of the feminine entity. And being able to understand and have perception or insight into how things are changing. So for you, Pisces and Aries, second last sign, Aries. Oh, popped out, so I'm going to show you. Aries, are you also having mental conflict? Ooh, Prince of Cups. Are you also having mental conflict about an offer, suggestion, proposition? Three of Swords, reversed. Not wanting to be hurt. Magician, reversed. Feeling like you don't have the resources and or the support maybe. But is that true? I just got like a little heart palpitation. Do you get heart palpitations, Aries? Or like, are you feeling nervous about something in your heart? For Aries. For Aries. Oops. King of Discs. What's been happening for the last 9 months that has drained you? It does feel like it's cyclical, has to do with cycles, phases, the 9-month cycle or a 9-month cycle. You have the King of Discs here, the Prince of Cups, and the Justice reversed. Feels like there is a father figure. So Justice represents Libra. It doesn't have to be the sign, but the energy of truth and justice and speaking up, saying what needs to be said. Also marriage. Excuse me. Any contractual agreement or arrangement. It does feel like it does feel like this King of Discs could be a father figure. It doesn't have to be, but someone that is practical in their resources, or aims to be practical and sturdy and steady in their resources. The resources that they have, provide, earn. And I have the 9 of Wands. So, going back to this 9-month cycle, I wonder if you are, there's something connected with this 9-month cycle that it speaks to this father energy. So you could be getting support from a father energy that, like, that solid support, or seeking solid support from a father energy related to a 9-month cycle. Something that's been going on for the 9 months. Pregnancy, of course, because that's a 9-month cycle, but something that has ended, like, kind of drained you ultimately. And then when we have the Justice reversed, it's like there's this need for communication, conversation, truth, justice, understanding. And the Prince of Cups. It does feel like you have an offer, but it's not really, you're actually not sure about it. You're not sure. If you were sure, it would be the King of Cups, but you're not sure. You're like, do I accept this? It looks like it's something that could help me emotionally to be, but I actually feel like you're not sure that this is it, but you're not sure. When we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, someone that is feeling either uninspired or not able to harness their energy in a way that they used to, in a way that makes them feel good. In a way that helps them to do all the things that they were doing, that they're used to doing. What's nice is that you do have the Magician upright. And so that would indicate that you have really the support of the universe. You have the resources available. Even if you think that you don't have the resources, you can make things work. You can make the magic happen. Oftentimes when you get the Magician, it's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. But it's really one about, like, your level of manifestation. But also too, like, your ability to command your own energy. You can do what it is that you want to do. Even if you think that you don't have the resources around you, sometimes it's other people that have the resources. So you have the Two of Cups. Relationships, I think, are coming into focus here. It doesn't have to be romantic, I think just in general. Although, of course, it could be romantic as well. A new offer that you are willing to receive or contemplating receiving. It does feel like it's spiritual in nature. And of course, I think that there may be people around you that could show up as representations of the relationships that you desire. Sometimes, we can look around ourselves and see the people that inadvertently inspire or color our perspective of what relationships look like. So last tarot card, we have the Six of Wands. It's in reverse, but I'll show it to you upright. Six of Wands is generally a card of celebration, validation, acceptance. Did I say celebration? I think so. And being seen, right? Being seen. So in the next 6 weeks, or in June, but in the next 6 weeks, I do feel like it could go two ways. There's a possibility of you, tarot, I say that too. Yeah, you leading yourself through a space of what could be darkness on, like, to the other side. You know, it feels like the other side of the rainbow, so to speak. But it feels like it's like a karmic experience, a karmic cycle. We have healthy body, the healthy body card. And it's nice that the sun is shining on my hand, because it feels like 6 weeks is the timeline. Feels like 6 weeks or 6 months where things start to really start to unfold. Does feel like it has a past life connection, this healthy body situation. And also, I think what's coming in for you to help heal are gratitude and forgiveness for yourself, of course, first and foremost, for the people that are around you. And it's a matter, and there's a matter of strength that's coming through. I do think August is going to be significant. And it's interesting, I say 6 weeks, that would bring you to the beginning of August, right? Yeah. There's going to be a level of strength that you harness. Maybe you're not really expecting to, or maybe you are expecting to, but you will. It feels like strength is coming through to say, like, you will get through this. You will overcome. You know, what's nice too is that you have partnership cards here, and that you have the star, which represents Aquarius, and strength, which represents Leo. So again, coming back to this idea of partnerships, but it really has to do with like shining in your own light. It's like shining in your darkness. I think it's actually through your dark experiences and being harnessing your strength that a new potential relationship comes through, Aries. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Last but not least. Last but not least. Oops. We have Taurus. Taurus, we have the moon, High Priestess, the Five of Cups. Taurus, I feel like there's something instinctual that's happening inside you, and you're not really sure yet what you're feeling. You're trying to like suss it out or sort it out, you know? Does feel like it's emotionally related. We have the Five of Cups upright, the King of Cups upright, and the King of Wands reversed. Taurus. I do feel a sense of like apathy, sadness, discontent. Knowing that you're moving on or moving forward in some way, but you don't really know where you're moving, so you can't, you know, you're waiting on the signs, essentially. You're trying to hear. Figure out your values. Not figure out, but reassess. Allowing yourself to get back to, not even back to, it feels like into emotional equilibrium that maybe you haven't felt for a while. Feels like spirit's trying to reach out to you to say, like, this way, this way, this way, Taurus. But are you listening? Are you listening? It's like there could be 3 situations that have fallen apart, dissipated, and that you're no longer engaged with, or as engaged with. The love it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Even if the love is there, it's like, it doesn't feel the same. And so we have the King of Cups and the King of Wands. Does feel like managing your energy and your emotions. Like the emotions are more under control than your energy. And or this could be, of course, a representation of 2 energies in your life. One is probably more emotionally supportive, and the other one is energetically dysregulating. Yeah, it feels like the bottom row is all reversed. I mean, and in some cases that's good because we have the 5 of discs here. But it's very much this sense of like, where are my resources? Who are my supporters? Who am I here to like play in life with? You know, I want to get my emotional equilibrium back. I don't want to work on things that don't support me in the way that I support them, that don't love me in the way that I love them, that don't bring deep value, or don't add to my life in a way that I can really feel proud of, or really feel aligned with. Figuring out what your truth is, what your lived beliefs are, what it is that you are, what you know, it's okay. You know, sometimes we think of feeling tethered, right? Tethered to certain things, you know, like in that box, right? And if you're comfortable with that box because it's something that aligns with you, then there's no problem. But if that box does not align with you, it feels suffocating. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles. So it's like really just getting clear, not just, but really getting clear on your value, on how, and it's, you know, nice confirmation. We have the 6 of discs. When I look at this card, I love this card, the representation of it, because it's like spirit is showing you that there's someone on the other side that is trying to send some love, messages, support your way. Some balance. They're trying to share some balance and blessings. So I'm going to pull a crystal card, but I'm also going to pull a self-care card. Came out emotional healing. That's for sure. That's for sure. Take action, Labradorite. This is specifically related to your personal life path, who you are in this life, and what it is that you've come here to do, what it is that you want to do in this life. Heart healing, felt that as well, particularly related to this 5 of Cups energy. This heart healing, courage, yeah. Actually, you know, the colors would say something, right? So kind of like heart and into the throat. it's being able to express what it is that you feel, what it is that you know, and having courage to do that. Because it feels like that's actually there's a level of emotional ownership that needs to happen. And it's actually going to take courage for you to do that. So whether, the feeling that comes up is like your relationships are changing, you're becoming more clear on the things that you need to do and say to be in alignment with where you're going and who you are. And it might feel a little bit scary. One thing that comes up as I talk this out is like maybe you're coming out in some way, maybe you're queer and you're coming out, or maybe you're just. It's interesting as I say that, and we have sexuality at the bottom of the deck, so maybe that's right. Um, Maybe that's right, but it does feel like there is some kind of like ownership, emotional, spiritual ownership of who you are, that's going to help you to heal emotionally, Taurus. Um, yeah. So this is readings for the solstice. Thank you so much for being here. Look at how tall this flame is. Let me just send you off with oil and blessings, smoke blessings. May this solstice be inspiring, clearing, enlightening. Sending you a lot of love and blessings always. If you resonated, share, subscribe, of course, all that kind of stuff. And I'd love to have you comment and share how it resonated and or what else you'd like to see. So sending you a lot of love and blessings for this solstice and this next month. I may do other readings, individual readings, per sign, that is. But if you'd like a personal reading, check out my website, Sheena Denise. That's Sheena, SHEENADENNISE.com, or One People TO. Doesn't that look like a shooting star? That was cool. Or One People, all spelled out, ONE people TO.ca. Sending you whatever you need in this moment. Thank you.